happy Halloween. I don't know if we're actually live. I'm just talking to myself at the moment until somebody tells me that we're actually live. I have a joint costume, but my Koopo over here isn't, he doesn't want to cooperate. It's bumming me out. I have a Moogle friend, and he's not helping. He's not a team player. Is he?
Moogle, come
My dude, I got all dressed up in this nice chicken outfit, and then you're not going to come be part of my costume? No one's going to even know I'm a chocobo. They're going to say I'm a weird chicken thing or a duck with a funny purse. I try, man. I try. We have fun here.
We are.
I try.
We're missing somebody, though.
Who are we missing?
It's me, Gru!
It's Gru!
It's Gru! My voice is terrible! So I'm not going to do it!
I think it's Shrek.
Hello!
Oh, boys. Welcome to a very special Halloween episode of Replay. Today, instead of doing like a game like we often do, we're doing kind of a different event. It's. Do you want to describe it, Gwen?
Okay, so we like to compete with each other, and we also like to tell funny stories about filming. So we came up with a convention panel that we usually do.
Sure, Moose is going to jump out in front of the camera.
Oh, I saw a tail fly by.
We all tell stories about different things that have happened to us at random encounters, and then we poll the audience to see who told the best scary story. So they're all slanted to be like things that went wrong, things that like weren't quite what we expected.
You can't tell I'm doing it. I'm trying to do the finger thing right now. Creepy. Sinister.
And we call it like filming horror stories, but none of them are particularly like super scary. There's a couple of things that we
yours aren't scary.
Haunted.
Oh, that's
mine are the spookiest.
I think your
ones.
Moogle wants to leave this room.
No, you have to come join me on camera. People need to know that this was a team costume.
Moogle man.
This was a two-player costume.
He's like, please let me out.
You have to come show them. I worked so hard on your costume for 5 whole minutes.
It's amazing how often he wants so desperatly to be in here, but right now he's like, please let me out.
He's like, I want to be where the people are for the next 4 seconds. Please let me out. Disappointing, dude. You gotta pull your weight around here.
He might come over in a minute.
I'm holding out that once we start talking, we chill out a little bit. Maybe he'll come join us.
Yeah. But anyway, we have 13 categories, I want to say, of
something like that.
Like themed stories. So we all tell stories around the same kind of idea, like costumes that went wrong, or like unexpected visitors to set, or like things like that. And we roll a die to figure out which category we're going to be telling you. And usually we'd have you guys roll this.
But you're not here.
You're not here. But we are still going to have you vote on who told the best story or the spookiest story or however you want to award points to us. And we're going to keep score, and we're going to see who wins at the end of today.
Do we know who's in the lead so far? Did we ever tell them that? I think I told people on Patreon that I was in the lead, but I don't know if that was accurate.
You're
lies.
So we keep score between conventions as well to see like which stories end up getting the votes like over the years, and we've been doing this for 3 years now.
Something like that, yeah.
And yes, AJ is in the lead. I think by about 2 or 3 points.
It's pretty close.
But I don't want that to like make you not want to give him points. So
my dude, what are you up to?
I think he's on the shower. Not the shower. He's in the shower.
I hear clicking.
He's on the windowsill.
Make sure he didn't just go get himself stuck in the shower just in case.
How could he possibly?
But if you guys want to roll that die.
I was going to say, first off, we should, I can't see the chat from here, but I want to make sure we look good and we sound good and you can hear us and everything's fine. And we've got 2 moderators here with us today. I think we have 2. I know Neff and Joe is definitely here. And it looks like Melktoni was here. Thank you guys for joining us. Please respect the rules, because if you don't, they'll put you in timeout. And you don't want to be in timeout. Yeah, the stream is going to go for about an hour. We started late, so we'll be running to about, 4:30? Probably about 4:30.
Because we have to have a premiere of the final episode.
Yes.
Of Shovel Werewolf.
At 5 o'clock over on Random Encounters, it's the premiere of the series finale of the Shovel Werewolf. It's ending permanently.
Good. We'll pitch that more at the end. All right, so you guys know this as a D20. It's not a D20. This is an ancient stone of power. It has the power to determine what stories we're about to tell. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Hey, there he is. All right, he's going to get his Moogle wings back on. Gwen, I'm going to roll this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. The stone of power says number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Hair-raising haunts.
Hair-raising. Oh, we should have had music playing. We have a Halloween playlist on YouTube and everything.
Yeah, Well, we were up till about 6 in the morning last night
We have
finishing
a
the Shovel
laptop.
Werewolf.
What if we play it quietly in the laptop? Does that work?
What if we tell them that they have an hour stream of instrumental music that they can go
They can go play themselves
in
in
a
a separate
second
window.
tab, if you
Oh,
would like.
yes, please. Some of you guys are probably doing
It's
it already.
called 1 hour of spooky music. We just put it up 2 weeks ago, or like the Friday before last. So if you are interested in having some spooky music in the background of us talking, go play that in another tab.
Thank you for backing up when we can't get our tech together.
You
at
probably
least it's still
can't. I was going to say, can you just make sure we looks good?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Okay, cool.
anything come up that's.
All right, well, hair-raising haunts. I don't know who wants to start this. Do you want me to start it?
Yeah, why don't you start us off with hair raising?
Hair-raising haunts.
You don't have hair to
I
raise.
don't.
This
I
guy
don't.
has hair. Look at all the hair this guy's got.
My Moogle's hair! Chocobo and Moogle team! Koopo, you
He's
gotta
like,
cooperate
please
with me.
leave me alone.
And I am thinking,
Little boinger is
yeah, I
not
think
staying up.
I think he's done with his costume. So now that he's made an appearance, I'm gonna take it off.
Now that you've seen him,
He's like, this is the worst. Why do you do this to me? It's better than the slug outfit, dude.
It is
The
better.
slug outfit was the worst.
I think it's only fair
There you
that
go.
given the amount of
Hey,
times
Brian.
he like yowls at the door
you
complaining
go.
about his life,
There you go.
we should actually give him something worth complaining about for once.
You wanna sit with me? You don't have to.
He's like, no.
It's alright.
He'll decide.
We should let the black cat in. That'll be spookier and add more atmosphere.
Ooh.
I don't know if you open the
And
door,
she
she
won't
might.
get
She
over
was
my
right
dress.
outside.
All right, hair-raising haunts. I'll start it off. My
All right.
story is called "Shrieks of the Demon Speaker." Dun, dun, dun.
I love how I literally just told them that they weren't that spooky, and this is legit the haunted one.
All right, our tale starts a few years ago when we were filming FNAF Ground Zero with CG5. He was not here yet. We were waiting on him. And as such, AJ, myself, and Peter were in the garage setting up the dastardly set, which, spoiler alert, Charlie would meet his demise in.
It's true. That very spot.
And as we were setting it up, Peter was close to one of the monitors getting some things connected, and he had a speaker right near his head. And, this is gonna, like, rip headphone users warning.
Aim up. Not
As he was
forward.
doing this, suddenly from one of the speakers, we heard a loud, "Oh!" Peter jumped, maybe even pooped himself a bit, and immediately turned to myself and AJ and maybe used a curse word or two, but was like, which one of you guys did that? And me and AJ looked at each other and we were like, neither of us. It was neither of us. Peter did not believe us, needless to say, and we continued working along getting the set to set up. A few moments later, once again, the speaker went, "Oh!" At that point, I think Peter realized neither of us did it. In fact, nobody did it. We had unplugged the speaker and placed it across the room and sat it on the floor near nothing. At which point, it still went, "Oh!" That's not the beard either. This speaker may have been possessed by something or someone, but needless to say, I made Peter take it with him when he moved out, for I did not want it in our presence anymore. Hopefully he burned it or buried it deep within a coffin surrounded by chains.
I think it's in a lead-lined box surrounded by salt or something
Yes.
at this
Yeah,
point.
buried deep, I hope.
We never did figure out what was causing the speaker to scream bloody murder.
No idea.
That's a good one. That's a juicy one. All right. Well, I think that was pretty good. I think I can do
I
better.
just want to highlight this guy too.
Oh, yeah.
Gwen, you want to have a boo?
A
I
spooky
do
boo.
want to have a
I
boo.
got cat hair or Moogle fur in my mouth. All right, so my spooky story for this topic, hair-raising haunts, is called Night of Bones at Salton Sea. Not Sultan like in Aladdin. Sultan like
Abu is the Sultan?
like it's made of salt. So, you would think that a place covered in salt would be absolutely safe from the supernatural, but you would be wrong. And probably someone who's never visited Salton City, California, which is where we filmed Sega Bass Fishing of the Dead. Many of you probably have seen it before. Let me tell you a little bit about this location. It has been featured on things like the History Channel for post-apocalyptic landscapes. This beach, we'll call it, is not a beach. Though there's water, it's mostly not water. And though there are fish, none of them are alive. Although most of them, there must be some still alive because you find somebody that are dead there. So somebody's either putting dead fish in there or they're actual live fish. Anyway, I went off on a tangent. The reason this place is so spooky is because this lake is toxic and it kills everything that ends up inside of it, which includes birds, fish, whatever else. And their skeletons wash right out onto the beach. And I call it a beach. Like I said, it's not sand, it's bone. It's all fish bones and dissolving skeletons. There might be human bones there. I didn't look that close.
I put a couple there.
You try to put it out of your mind while you're there. But it was the perfect location to film this horrifying undead fish music video. So that's what we did. Unfortunately for us, this Salton Sea area is basically uninhabited. There are virtually no motels. Almost nobody lives there. So driving 4 hours out and filming all day means you're stuck there at night and you have no place to go except to pitch a little tent out on the bones and sleep there. Maybe make a little fire out of some weird broken down abandoned housing and driftwood, which is exactly what we did. And we probably will never do it again. It's an unsettling experience and it smells rancid from about 5 miles out. So if you want some vacation suggestions, I would not put Salton Sea at the top of the list, but it is a great spot to film horrifying music videos. The end. Dun dun dun.
We did say that it would have been a decent spot to, as an alternate location to film the series, the final season of Shovel Werewolf, because it looked like a desolate
It
wasteland.
would have done excellent for that.
Would have been a little bit different tone though.
Yes.
No trees, more dead fish.
Yes.
Everything would be dead. Gwen, do you think you can top either Nate's story or my story?
Statistically, probably not. But my hair-raising haunt is the legend of the Bloody Cabin. So, 3 years ago now, we did a Halloween musical on Friday the 13th. This story fades more into memory, and yet it stays very clear for certain elements. We filmed up in the mountains at a, campgrounds kind of thing with all these cabins all over the place. And when we wanted a really creepy cabin for the last little bit with Jason and his mom and all that going on, the camp directors were like, oh, don't worry, we have a house that we use as a haunted house for Halloween. It'll work great. And we can let you in, nobody will be bothered, whatever. And I really feel like they were selling it more on nobody's using it right now because we don't have our haunted house open yet. So you won't bother anyone. It'll be private, all those things. And we walked in and immediately there's no power. It's freezing. We're going in by the light of our cell phones and there's something dark dripping down the walls.
That's how you know it's good.
That's okay. That's normal. That's fine. And we're going further in and finding more things and realizing that something dark is kind of reddish toned and there's skeletal arms coming out of rooms and there's all just sorts of strange things that don't belong in a cabin happening.
Like us in a haunted cabin. We don't belong there. It's a mistake.
And then I got to go down into the basement and there was a nice shrine there set up that we had brought in a nice, severed head that had looked
real severed
gross. It was fake.
Oh.
Was it? I don't remember.
Is there
yes.
something you guys need to tell me?
Yes, it was fake. Very fake.
Totally fake, yes.
But we were filming our scene, and I swear, you would hear creakings in places where we weren't moving, and items were shifting around the room, and I don't remember touching them.
Creaking
A
sounds like
likely
this.
story.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Just like that.
That's weird.
Just like that.
So we finished our scene and we ran away.
The end.
Ta-da!
Oh, no.
All right, it's time for you guys. You have to take a vote, and we're going to find out which of us won this round of hair-raising haunts. Mm-hmm. Was it Nate's, what's your speaker?
Curse?
Shrieks of the Demon Speaker.
Shrieks of the Demon Speaker.
Oh! Or was it the Night of Bones at Salton Sea?
Or the Legend of the Bloody Cabin. Tell us in the chat right now. I'll keep an eye on it. And when we have a consensus, I will hand this card to the winner, unless it's me, and then I'll keep it.
I'm going to do a chocobo dance. It's like...
A chocobo dance.
Demonetized.
I don't think you can get demonetized if you just sing the song.
Are you sure? I should try really hard.
Like, yeah, it's tough. I don't know.
What should I keep in my little pouch here? What do they keep in the game? Like Choco's Mystery Dungeon?
Gashel greens. Get the whatever the food is.
That'd be a good idea. I would love to have some food on me at all times. I'm gonna wear this to a convention.
Oh, while we're
Just
also
snacks
sitting
with
here,
me.
I'd also like to introduce. This is Bob,
Hey, Bob.
and this
Sup?
is Stuart.
Yo,
Bob and Stuart.
How's it hanging?
They're just chilling. They're very silent today
Yes.
for minions.
You're just like, I don't know. I watched it like 3 times. 3 times is more than a lot of people. You guys watch any of the Despicable Me movies or Minions? I'm assuming yes.
I watched all of
They
them
did well.
on our flight back from London in December.
You did do that.
I watched all 3 of them, and then I watched the Minions movie because
You're a sucker for punishment.
I just saw them. I was like, whatever, it'll kill time. Plus, shout out to whoever commented on my Instagram post because I took a picture from the top of the London Eye where I had a nice jacket I bought on and a different scarf. And somebody's like, "You look like Gru," and I was like, "I'll be Gru for
I'll take
Halloween."
it.
I was like, "I'll do it, whatever."
It's a good idea.
So I feel weird because I'm the one reading the chat. So
Yes.
you can back this up if you feel the need.
What?
But I'm pretty sure this goes to me.
What?
What?
I'm gonna take
Lies.
your word for it, but I'm gonna be very suspicious of you from now on.
I'm gonna say I'm disappointed in the chat. I have never lost that one.
It's true.
I was thinking, I'm like,
Nate
that's like
won
a-
this
So-
3 times in a row. This is the first time it's ever gone to either me or AJ on this round. So
Wow.
I'll take it.
Hey, I like that we keep track of those results though, so we can actually
Can I
see.
pick your fur off you?
Yeah, you can. Unfortunately, I'm shedding,
I was like, it's a little
especially
weird.
from the Moogle, man.
Not fur, it's feathers. Sorry, feathers.
Yes,
Totally feathers.
feathers, definitely feathers. Who's got the Stone of Power? I do.
Why don't you?
I'm gonna hand it off to my friend Gru here. Actually, he just won. Should we let you?
No, good.
All
You
right.
can roll it.
Gru, go ahead. Otherwise, somebody might roll like 4 times. Good job, Bob.
5.
Pretty
Number 5.
bad roll, but
We'll
Was.
take it.
It's awful.
We'll take it.
5.
Number 5. What's number 5? What horrifying story?
Death by natural causes.
Death by natural causes.
Oh my.
Oh no. Well, all of us are alive, so have we truly experienced this?
We've only told this round once. There's only one winner.
Hey, so almost nobody has ever heard any of these stories.
All right. So, death by natural causes. My story is called "The Heat of the Moment."
Oh.
Um.
Oh my.
So.
Is this a shipping
Do
story?
these tacos taste funny to you?
No. This is not a shipping story. This
Oh.
is indeed the story
The tacos
of
do taste funny too.
when we were filming You and Me.
Oh, okay.
The musical, not them.
Not us,
Yes,
like the 2 of us.
the TF2 musical that we put out
You,
2 years ago.
Me, we're in this together. You are few. Me.
This is not a lyric challenge. Thank goodness.
No. I was just giving them a taste of what it was in
Alright.
case they needed
Yes.
a reminder.
You need to do a Gru version of that. You,
So-
me, we're in these together.
I can't do a Gru voice. I tried. My voice just does not get as high pitched as.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're distracting.
I know. We're gonna ruin her story. Please go ahead and spook us.
No, this is great.
We'll do a Gru off later. It'll be terrible.
So, when we were filming You and Me, we filmed it outside at our church in the parking lot. And our church is about halfway to the Mojave Desert from here.
It's technically in the Mojave Desert.
Is it in the?
I mean,
okay.
we're technically at the start of the Mojave Desert.
I was gonna say we're very close to the desert already. It already gets pretty hot here, but we filmed it a little bit north, a little bit hotter, in the middle of August, September.
It was August.
One of those months. Which
Wait,
are
it
the
was early,
hottest
because it
months
came
of
out
the
in
year.
July.
It
You're
came out
right.
in July.
Was
Yeah, so it was July.
Since
Okay.
August was
It was the
Ground Zero.
You're right.
with the demon speaker.
Okay. So, very hot month of the year. Very little shade, very close to the desert. And we started filming, and probably about 20 minutes in, I literally was just standing there in like shorts and a t-shirt, being like, I need a break. I need to go inside. I can't handle this for another 5 minutes. And then I look over and realize this guy is in long sleeves, long pants, rubber gloves, rubber boots.
It's pretty bad.
This guy is in a sweater vest, long pants, boots. Like,
uncomfortable boots too.
Yeah.
Like the platform
Stilt
ones.
boots.
and I'm standing off to the side holding our playback. They're running around as if they're in a gunfight. So if I'm dying, take a guess how they were feeling. I'm amazed they didn't ask to go inside before I did. We came inside. Literally, they laid on the floor, drank water, and then I'm like, okay, we have to film more. We'd get up, we'd go out, we'd film for like 10 minutes, come back in, lay on the floor. Go out, film for 5 minutes. Like, I swear, it kept getting like less and less until finally we're looking at each other and going, we cannot finish this musical without dying. Which is why if you play You and Me on Spotify,
It killed us sooner.
there's a whole nother verse that we didn't film simply because we didn't think we could physically survive filming another verse.
Spooky. Ooh. Would you call it skin melting out there?
Skin
Might have been.
melting.
That
I
is
want
all.
to say it was like 112, 100, somewhere
It was
around there.
definitely-
It's definitely up there.
Not just triple digits, but it was
It
like
was hot.
climbing still.
Very hot.
Terrible. All right, so that is almost a death by natural causes. It's a near death by natural causes. Mine is called. Oh wait, I have to introduce this a little bit more. How many of you guys have ever been buried alive? Yeah? How many times? This is the first time? This story is called Mud Burieth Man. Many years ago, we were filming a Halloween musical for the game Slender. You've probably seen it. You might have asked for us to do it again because, I don't know, it wasn't that scary, I guess. Most of our Halloween songs aren't, now I'm thinking about it. So we had this great epic plan to go film our Slender musical out in the forests of Tehachapi, which is a town not too far away, probably an hour and a half from us. And it's up in the mountains. Unfortunately, the day we chose to film it, it happened to be terrible, stormy weather. It was raining nonstop. I guess, yeah, it was, I think, flood warnings all across basically everywhere in Southern California that day. We decided to push the shoot one extra day, but we couldn't spare more than that because Halloween was fast approaching. The next day, we woke up, saw it was clear outside, and we got in the car and started driving. And we only got maybe 30 minutes up the road before traffic just stopped. It came to a dead stop, you might say. And we couldn't figure out what was going on. So we kind of climbed out of the car and looked as though maybe there was an alien landing or something, just like those disaster movies. But what we saw on our phones, because it was too far, the cars were like miles of traffic. What we found on our phones was that a horrible mudslide had come down all over a bunch of cars and trucks and buried tons and tons of vehicles. And fortunately, I don't think anybody was hurt. They might have had one hospitalization out of it. There were a ton of cars, though, that had to be like cleaned out and probably salvaged because that mud was, I want to say, between 6 and 10 feet. It was burying these cars up to. So that canceled our shoot very hard and fast, but we still had to get the musical done. So we about-faced and headed to a completely different patch of woods that was much closer, but much sparser, and we filmed the musical there. But if we had left on time that day, maybe just half an hour sooner, that could have been our car buried in mud with a Slender costume and no way to film. Hopefully a way to get out of our car still. And that is the story of Mud Burieth Man.
You have to eat all the mud to get out.
You have to eat your way out of the mud. That's the real horror.
Oh my god.
All right. I know, that's what I had to do. My leg was falling asleep. All right.
That's all right. I'll show my chicken foot more.
My story predates Random Encounters itself,
Ooh.
but is
that must be
Random
good.
Encounters related?
Ooh.
This story-
Related, you might say.
Related.
Don't you
This
start
story
that.
is called Shaken to the Core. Many moons ago,
I'll show my butt later.
please
queue
don't.
for many
Many
moons.
moons ago, AJ and I won a contest for Sonic the Hedgehog's 19th birthday by making a musical you may have heard of called Needle Mouse the Musical.
Might have heard of it.
Might have heard of it. It's just a
fairly
little
popular.
little popular. As such, our prize was to be taken to Japan, with Aaron Weber. He used to run the Twitter account for Sonic the Hedgehog, and we were enjoying our trip. You know, it was a week long. It was a very pleasant few days until the end of our trip. We were supposed to leave on Saturday, but on Friday, as we stand inside the Akihabara arcades trying to win more useless material goods, we start feeling a shaking going on. We're not sure what it is. We can see the crane machines shaking and everything shaking back and forth. And AJ, having already lived in California, I hadn't. He was like, we're having an earthquake. I had never experienced one before. So as it happened, we immediately fled the building as things continued to shake. And we stood out in the open, I can't even think of it.
Nate,
Like-
you're ruining that selling this earthquake. Thanks.
The open...
Overselling it now.
The open patio-ish kind of area between a bunch of different buildings. And we look up and we see all the buildings shaking and swaying back and forth. You may have actually heard of this earthquake. It was called the Sendai earthquake of 2011. One of the, if not the strongest earthquake Japan's ever had.
And it was like top 5 strongest of all time.
Yes,
I think.
as we stood outside after the earthquake, the skies got dark and the wind picked up as way off on the coast, probably 100 miles away from us, a tsunami was actually hitting, but we could still feel the wind from it. We ended up having to stay in Japan an extra few days because they closed down all the trains, all air travel, because they were worried that the nuclear reactor might have been leaking nearby from it. So we could have died. Random encounters could potentially not even exist if AJ and I hadn't managed to live through that horrifying earthquake experience.
Manage being a very
Managed to live.
That was pretty scary, actually, though.
It's a good introduction to earthquakes. I feel like it's
Yeah.
why when we have earthquakes here now every once in a while, they don't bother me at all. I'm just like,
more space.
No.
do you need more room, chicken man?
Now. I'm good.
Yeah, the first time they told me that they were there, I remember getting news in the U.S. about the tsunami and the earthquake and all that stuff, and it being like a big deal back in 2011. Right?
2011.
Yeah, I remember it really well, and then I remember them being like, "Oh yeah, we were there," and I was like, "And
Yeah.
you're not dead?"
We had to use Google to call parents and
Yeah.
no, I didn't even use Google. I had to use my iPhone to connect on because we didn't have cell service there because obviously it's a foreign country.
Overseas, yeah.
I had to get on Facebook with data and message a friend from college to be like, can you call my parents and be like, he's not dead? I had to call my boss to be like, I'm not coming into work on Monday because
I won't be there.
I'm
I'm
not.
not in America.
Oh,
Anyway.
Leave.
So
I did that.
it is up to you now to decide which was the most. What was our title?
The most scary death by natural causes.
Yes. Was it Nate, AJ, or me?
I said, what are the names?
Shaken to the core.
Or Mud Buryeth Man.
Or the heat of the moment?
That's not fair. They wrote a pop song for yours. Where's my Mud Buryeth Man? I'm gonna write that song first. Make it super successful. And then people are like, but did you hear the story behind it? It was really scary. I just have to say that earthquake experience was so different because, again, been in lots of earthquakes. Everybody started out smiling because oh, it's an earthquake. That's kind of cool. And it just kept going. And that's when everybody's smiles started to drop and it wasn't fun. And then a girl screamed and...
I feel like that's how it is with a lot of earthquakes. I mean, here we haven't had anything big here. So generally it's just oh, we're having an earthquake. That's interesting. But yeah, in Japan it's I feel like once you hit a certain time limit, you're okay, this is an earthquake. This is an actual... earthquake, not just some tremors.
It's ruined earthquakes for me forever because now even if it's just 5 seconds, I'm what if it goes on for 10? What if it goes on for 30? What if it goes on for an entire minute? And what if it keeps getting stronger?
I'd like to shame the one guy in Japan though, as the crane game prizes fell out of the crane games into the little buckets where you collect the prizes, was digging his hands in there and grabbing stuff. He was looting.
Looting right in the middle of an
He
earthquake.
immediately sensed his moment and started looting.
He's like,
my time has come.
I've trained my whole life for this moment.
So I have seen one vote for me.
One vote.
I have seen one vote for AJ.
Hey!
Oh no.
Literally everybody's giving it to Nate.
Y'all
which I
have
think
been shaken to the core.
Shaken to the core. That is a good one.
It is.
Based on a true story.
All of
It
these
is a
are-
true story.
All of these are based on true stories.
That's true. They are all
I was gonna
based on.
say, are you making stuff up? That's cheating.
I believe it's Gwen's
if
turn
it
to
works.
roll.
It is Gwen's turn to work. All right. What do you got for us?
11.
Story number 11.
11.
What is our 11th category today?
Oh, people are going to be able to Google this one afterwards.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
11. Eternal embarrassment.
Oh, no!
All right.
Oh, not embarrassing stuff. That's even worse than scary stuff. Who's starting this one?
I will say, I feel like the embarrassing ones at conventions always get the most
I
like,
can
moans
start
and
it.
groans.
Eternal embarrassment. My story is called The Mistake of Master Mummy.
Oh, get ready to cringe, people. These are terrible.
A couple years ago, we filmed an Arms musical called Arms of a Fighter. At the end of this great musical, we have a cameo appearance by a different Arms character known as Master Mummy. He's a big, scary purple mummy. He's kind of like
Scary.
Thanos, but if Thanos was a mummy.
Yeah. That's creepy.
In AJ's infinite wisdom, we decided the best way to have me play this character was to buy purple lipstick and smear it all over my face.
It's better than the time we put rubber cement on your face.
It's true. Once,
It's better than
as soon
that.
as Gwen started working here, we have much
Safety
safer
protocols went way through the
safety
roof.
protocols.
Man, we shut down everything we used to do.
So I smeared all this over my face, and to be fair, it didn't look the worst. I think the worst part was honestly my voice and the line and the way I delivered it.
Probably.
For when I show up, also the fact that my big arms hands were just spiky beach balls that I attached.
They're in
and
the ball pit right now.
They're in the ball pit.
They literally were just taped to his hands.
They were just taped to my hands. Yes, but if you've seen the musical, you know at the end, I say something along the lines of like, "Want to play co-op? I'm great at friendly fire," which isn't bad. But then he does this weird like Howard Dean laugh where he's like, "Ah!" I live in shame every day.
Good.
From
You
that
should.
role. It was, everybody says, I must feel shame from playing Tingle. And I'm like, I embraced Tingle. I asked for Tingle. I was okay with it. I knew what Tingle was.
You got your own costume for Tingle,
It's
didn't you?
true. Master Mummy was an abomination. He was an affront to mankind. So,
And he lives on in horror. to
and he
this
lives
day.
on
You can
in
see
infamy.
it right now on Arms of a Fighter.
It's true. You go watch Arms of a Fighter, you can see that horrifying moment at
Yeah.
the end of it.
We gotta get you a better one. That's not as good a story as I think the others are. So.
And none of them are as good as yours, but
Well, I mean, we're gonna get Nate some more embarrassing moments, okay, people? Like, it's on record now. We gotta embarrass Nate more. All right. This story of horror is called Sanic Lives. Sorry for the headphone users. I gotta learn not to do that. Many of you guys have watched various Sonic cartoons and TV shows over the years, but have you watched the show Sonic Boom? I know what you're thinking. You're like, it's not that bad, it's not that scary. I don't know why I'm so troubled by the existence of Sonic Boom. Well, let me tell you. There is one episode specifically. I'm not even sure I'm cleared to tell this story on the internet. I just thought... It's too late, we've started. It has to be finished now. I don't think it's actually on the internet anywhere. Oops. There's one horrifying episode of Sonic Boom that some of you have seen probably, called Just a Guy. In this episode, Sonic the Hedgehog has some Inception-like flashbacks into his safe spaces and happy places. And one of them results in an atrocity of a scene that somehow made it onto national television. Not just in America, but in France and other countries. Let me tell you about this scene from my end of the scene. I was contacted one day and asked if I would like to be on the Sonic Boom television show. And I said, absolutely, I'd love to do that. And they said, here's the details. We need a cosplayer who's going to build a Sonic costume in the next 24 hours to come wear it for a shot in the cartoon. And I said, cool, I can do that. So with Sparrow's help, we started frantically putting together a homemade, built from scratch Sonic costume. And we had a phone call with them. We sent them some diagrams to show the film team what it would look like. And everybody said, cool, that looks great. And then the troubles began. And many hot glue burns and needle pokes later, we had an abomination of a Sonic costume built in a matter of hours with no sleep that barely fit, was falling apart. It was being repaired in between filmings. And I can't even show it because I didn't get to keep it when I was done wearing it. If you look up this terrible situation on the internet, you will see some mysterious stranger dressed as Sonic the Hedgehog, a very bad Sonic the Hedgehog who looks much more like Sonic in the flesh.
You say look it up on the internet. This made it to the final show, right? Like
It did.
It aired.
Yes,
It is.
You can find the episode on YouTube probably.
You can. It's been done. So
That's on you to go find it.
I'm not at liberty to say who that Sanic was, but I can tell you about building a costume that closely resembled it that showed up on national television in several countries. I guess they make it international television.
Oh no.
Yeesh!
It
I'm never
lives
gonna live it down.
forever.
Never gonna live it
That's
down.
the
Eternal
best kind of eternal embarrassment. Yeah.
He died. Oh, he's got like some feathers right here.
Right?
Embarrass me. Aw. All right, that's my terrible story.
Funnily enough, I think
Don't
all
sue
of,
me.
all of
Somebody's
these stories
watching.
are on the internet somewhere.
Oh, yeah?
Mine is called A Wig Worth Burning.
Ooh.
I think if you
Chills.
burn it, it might be noxious. So back in early days of my involvement with Random Encounters, I used to just show up for like little bit parts every once in a while or help on set or whatever. And when they were filming A Team Full of Harmony, AJ asked me if I wanted to be Jessie for the very end, like a final shot. For anyone that's seen it, I think I'm literally on screen for 10 seconds or less.
Yeah.
So obviously it was kind of, I think it was a last minute like addition to the musical. I'm pretty sure the costumes were put together fairly quickly. And when I showed up to set, the wig, I honestly didn't know which way was the front and which way was the back. Somebody had very
Hastily?
hastily attempted to add Jessie's like big swoop hair. And it just kind of, it looked a lot more like Hades from Hercules, like kind of more straight up and scraggly. Not at all Jessie's like sleek.
And on fire?
Yeah,
That's
kind
right.
of on fire. I put it on one way, I put it on the other way, I decided which way looked better.
There was no winning.
And literally walked out from the bathroom where I had been putting it on. And AJ looked at me and busted out laughing, like immediately.
How
There was
rude.
no other reaction you could have to this wig. And we were like, okay, this is what's happening. Let's see if it'll look better on camera. It didn't look better on camera. It didn't. And you guys know because that you've seen it. It's
I'm sure some
awful.
people have commented.
They have. And don't worry, I might light it on fire later if we haven't already thrown it out.
I think
It's
we
gone.
threw that
It's
out.
long gone. But there's a silver lining to your story. Because when we put Jessie in the Detective Pikachu musical,
It's true.
it inspired you a little.
That is definitely one of the costumes that I was like super eager to get my hands on and fix. And it's still not perfect. We went for just not having a swoop in general and just gave her nice long hair. And it worked out great. And the R's weren't falling off my chest anymore because I was
That's
done
true.
with that costume.
Fix those too. And
Just a couple
overhaul.
things. Yeah.
Sometimes out of distress becomes triumph.
It turns out when they're not thrown together at the last minute, sometimes you can do some really cool things, guys.
It's like Phoenix Jessie. Out of the ashes came Jessie 2.0.
Yeah.
The final boss version.
But that wig is still on the internet forever.
There you go. Can't get rid of it. I mean, I could. I could delete the video and it'd be gone. That'd be sad.
You
It's a
could
fun
just
song.
trim that scene.
Just like cut the, end
song
off
just
this.
ends.
YouTube has that in the creator studio. Alrighty, guys. That's all the horror stories for this round.
So, who gets the award for eternal embarrassment? Will it be the mistake of Mummy with
Master Money.
Master Money.
Hey.
I am Gru. Master Money.
Will it be Sanic Lives and the international terribleness?
Oh no.
Or will it be a wig worth burning?
Ooh, it's time to cast your votes. Vote. Remember to
Speak-
vote, everybody.
Speaking of
For us.
Speaking of Sanic Lives, I
Yeah.
forgot he's in the movie.
Yeah, he is.
The,
Sanic the
the
Hedgehog is
crazy
in the-
like guy that says he's seen like the Blue Devil or whatever in the woods. The weird crazy
Yeah,
guy.
it's Picture Sanic.
Says he drew a picture of him or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's Sanic.
It is
Oh,
Sanic.
you're
It's the
right.
art of
Yeah.
Sanic.
Totally
This is
forgot
what I
that.
love about the Sonic team, especially here in America. But they do a great job of taking the community for Sonic and having fun with it instead of just like, it's over here, we're over here, ne'er shall the two meet. What's going on in there?
This is a screen full of AJ.
Hey! Did you guys go watch it? Did you watch this clip?
Oh my god.
I'm told that the actor was just some random
He
guy.
was just a guy.
Just some random guy.
Random guy.
Don't know who that could
Well,
be.
Here, random guy.
You didn't hear anything from me today, okay? I signed
You
paperwork.
gotta keep that because you won.
Oh, that's how we're
Yeah.
counting these? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I believe
Rick
you're up to
them.
roll
Rick
again.
them.
Oh, put it in your Moogle sack.
It's a
a
chocobo. The Moogle sack took off. That guy didn't want to be on camera with me because I'm his eternal embarrassment. Oh, is this a fake purse or something?
I think it's zipped.
Oh. I don't own a purse.
Have you never
I don't
seen a
own-
purse in your life?
Look,
before?
I was looking for like a computer bag or messenger bag, a satchel. All I can find is this purse. Sorry.
How'd you get this on Mr. Moose? That was gonna be your Moogle for you.
The boo could be the Moogle, but it won't fit. It's too big.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost feeling in my leg a little.
All right, Chocobo sack. Roll your dice.
All right, I'll try.
What time we got?
We still have 20 minutes.
20 whole minutes to tell terrible stories.
Correct.
Oh boy. Oh man. It's number 10.
19.
We don't have a 19. What do I do? Do we just
roll
cycle
Roll
back?
again.
Sorry. That was
Rick
like
headphone
Rod.
users.
Is anybody watching? How about number 12?
12.
We got one of them, right?
Random horrors.
This is why we let you guys roll these at conventions, but we don't have a convention yet set up. We have been invited to more conventions. Some conventions are still happening. That's cool. What is this one?
Random horrors.
Random horrors?
Things that didn't fit into a category.
This is a perfect category for us.
I think Gwen starts.
Sure.
Cool. Oh, random horrors.
Random horrors.
Okay, guys. This is actually one of my favorite stories to tell.
Is
So, I used to work as a waitress before I worked at Random Encounters full time. Which is not to say
You got
that
waiters
I worked.
in the chat. Any other
Yeah.
waiters?
It was
Show
great.
your represent.
I'm gonna take this off because it's weird.
But you look so good with it. As you were saying.
I did not work before ever starting with Random Encounters, which means there are certain videos that were going live on the internet that had me in them while I was still working at this restaurant. So keep that in mind as I tell you that this one time I walked up to a table with a child sitting at it with his parents, not very old. I figure, like,
That is horrifying. Yikes!
These children are scary. Ugh. Ugh.
Shivers.
this child was probably under the age of 3, like just old enough to be talking, but not old enough to really like be talking well. Not old enough for me to ask him for his order, had to ask his parents. But as I'm taking the order, the kid looks at me and goes, "Are you friends with your grandma?" And I'm like, this is a weird question, but okay. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I didn't really want to tell him that my grandmother was no longer with us, that she, like, was dead. But I was like, yeah, I'm friends with my grandma. Yeah, sure.
Who isn't friends with their grandma?
And I continue taking the order. And when I'm finished with the order, he's like, "Does your grandma live near you?" And I'm like, she doesn't live anywhere near here, even when she was alive. So I'm like, not really. And he's like, okay. And I leave, I come back, as waitresses do, we come and go from tables. And the next time I come, he's like, "Is your grandma nice?" And I'm like, this is a very weird line of questioning
Kid's
for
all
this
about
child.
grandmas.
Yeah, grandmas are always nice. Yeah, come on.
But I told him yes. And then his next question was, "Does it hurt when your grandma hits you?"
Oh no.
Well,
What do you do? How do you respond to that?
grandma should not be hitting small children. And if you are a parent or have parents, you may be guessing that at this particular moment, both parents at the table suddenly were freaking out. Because children should not believe that grandmas hit them. They're suddenly questioning, is that child's grandma doing something they shouldn't be doing? What's going on? So they're freaking out. I'm busy trying to figure out what's going on. And somehow the child mentions a baseball bat. Which finally made it click for me. Because Nate, on the internet around that time, had just played my grandmother chasing me around the house with a baseball bat.
You nasty
in a YouTube
grandma.
video.
You nasty grandma.
So it suddenly occurred to me that this very small child must have seen our Granny musical. And I turned to the parents very quickly and I'm like, "Does your child watch YouTube?" And they're like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Okay, here's a video I can show you. I think this is what your child is talking about." And somehow this kid had recognized me as the person in the video and freaked his parents out hard.
I like to believe that, he watches YouTube, but not Random Encounters. So, no, his grandma just hits him with a baseball bat.
A likely story.
There's no proof.
Oh, it was such a day. Oh, I love that.
That is a pretty random horror, I have to
Yes.
say. My random horror today will be called The Disappearing Dirty Dresses.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's true. That's right. The Disappearing Dirty Dresses. You guys, I'm sure, have heard of this actual spooky little music video we did called Resident Enos. And its ever-popular sequel, Resident Enos 2 Monster Gulch. Starring some very little-known people. AJ from Random Encounters.
Yeah, okay.
Dodger.
Yeah.
Market Player. Whoever that is. I don't know. So filming the second musical with those two required a lot of new props and some new costumes. And one of the things we put together were a couple very dirty dresses for a tea party scene. I'm assuming you guys know the scene I'm talking about. There's only one tea party scene, I think, in either of those musicals, actually. So we prepped those dresses in a hotel room the night before. They were dingy and torn. We smeared chocolate on them because that was the closest thing to mud we had. We definitely stained them up and made them super ratty. And they were very frilly and pretty, but also horribly disfigured. And after we got them all prepped up, we loaded them in the car. And the next morning, we brought them to set them out, let everybody take their pick which one they wanted. And when it came time to film that scene, no one could find them any longer. All of the I say all of them, there were clearly some dresses left. 2 of the dresses that people wanted were missing. And we had to do emergency costume changes for other backup dresses from, I think, Google's costume closet of like, here's just some dingy stuff. Because the ones we shredded and tore to pieces and like stained and things had just up and vanished. Like they grew legs and walked away. Doesn't even make sense. I, to this day, don't know what happened. Could be the set was haunted. Could be a fanboy realized Markiplier was going to wear this later and took it. And is wearing it right now. Maybe you're wearing it. I caught you. That's what happened to it. I have never seen them again, but there is an Instagram post I think I shared on our social media at some point of those dresses after we finished them, and at least one of them was completely missing, and we never found it again.
Oh my God.
And that is the story of the disappearing dirty dresses. Wake up! Wake up!
All right. In my story,
I can't wake up inside.
my story is called Death of a Medipack.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
If you have seen our Team Fortress 2 musical called You and Me, which we just talked about earlier, you may have noticed that per Random Encounters general tradition, the medic does not have a backpack. He does not have a medipack.
You should wear this.
That, however, was not always intended to be the case. A week before we were scheduled to film this great project, I sat in the garage toiling away, putting together various pieces from Home Depot, gluing things here with very strong glue. It's supposed to be like industrial strength for like your plumbing, and spray painting and attaching straps and creating this great masterpiece. It took me days. The time came eventually to film the musical, and AJ donned the backpack, and it looked great, and it was glorious, and we got ready and we filmed our first shot. And as the first shot came to a close, the strap broke off, and the medic backpack hit the ground, and pieces that were supposedly glued on with very strong glue,
Industrial strength glue. The best, the very best
they
money
came
can
off.
buy.
And despite all this hard work, the medic would once again have to go backpackless because it didn't make sense for him to have it in one shot and not the rest of the musical.
That's how continuity works.
Yes. So that is the sad, tragic tale of the death of the medipack.
I am convinced that it was just so hot outside that day that the glue literally melted.
I'm guessing that's
right.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very hot that day, as we had already said.
Because
so.
Nate's thorough. He checks these things, like in the
Yeah.
garage, like shaking them around and stuff. So why it was all glued one day and it was completely unglued the next day, I don't know. But
Too hot.
it was like 80 degrees one day and it was like 120 the next. I think that's what it is.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Right.
That was a
So-
relatable story, by the way.
I think I learned my lesson that day of whenever I'm going to put props like that together again in the future, I'm not going to use glue. I'm going to just, like, nail things, screw them in.
Together, yeah.
Stuff that can't come out like that.
Yeah, hardware actually is safer,
So-
even though it's not, like, intuitive to do. Yeah, relatable story. A lot of you guys out there probably have done the same thing where you spent so long on a cosplay or something for a theater show, maybe even just for Halloween, and then it just falls apart on you at the worst possible moment. And you go, I spent so long! You kidding me? It happens.
All right, which tale was the most frightening? Was it Death of a Medipack? The Disappearing Dirty Dresses? Or Does It Hurt When Grandma Hits You?
Let us know right now in the chat. We're getting down to the wire, too. We probably have time
We
for
are.
maybe one more question.
Yeah, we've got about 10 minutes left on the stream, so I think we're going to try and get through one
Speed
more
round.
category after this.
One more.
So your votes really matter.
Your
Make
vote
somebody win.
matters.
Who does this go to?
Oh, I hope it's me. I want to win it. Hold on, I'm gonna. Ow! Okay, I'm still with you. I'm alive. Wait, I have to sit like an anime girl. Ow! I can't do it. How do they do it? It hurts.
They're not
Ouch.
30-year-old men with beefy thighs.
It's like you break your legs and you do it. Ow! Ow!
Do we have a winner?
I
Yikes.
believe that belongs to me.
What? Oh no!
It apparently does hurt when Grandma hits you.
Apparently.
There was a little bit of a fight from AJ. I think people were
tried.
touring whether to vote for something that was really funny or something that they actually thought was weird and scary. And apparently, disappearing dress is weird and scary.
It's the only prop that went missing, by the way. Like, we found, like, everything else, but randomly, those dresses we literally had with us, and we brought them into the building, were no longer there.
20.
I can't.
20.
Too high.
That is too high. Roll again.
Yes.
Roll again, but you are natural, I have to say.
4.
That one's better. We can do 4. I like the number 4 even.
Number 4. Putrid Props.
Putrid props. You have to say it like that.
I guess I can start this one.
Putrid props.
My story is called The Tale of the Undead Head. You may have actually heard part of this earlier.
Oh.
When we were filming our Friday the 13th musical, we needed a severed head. It was Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mom. She doesn't have a head attached to her body anymore. And Jason likes to keep it in a nice little scary shrine in his shack.
So he went to our neighbor next door while they were asleep.
And we cut off their head. The end. No. So we went to Spirit Halloween, and we bought a scary-looking zombie mask, I think. And then we kind of cut some of the hair out, made it rattier. I think we rubbed some silver frosting in it to make it look more silver and slimy. And then we took some makeup and we gooped up the face to make it look like the flesh was still kind of juicy. And then we attached it to one of our mannequin heads.
Juicy flesh.
And it was terrifying. It was a gross severed head that Gwen thought was real, apparently. And it sat there and it looked great on our set. And then to add spooky gruesomeness to the entire thing, we then put it in a plastic, just like a plastic Walmart bag, like a grocery bag. And we sealed the bag. And then when we got home from filming, we just kind of tossed it in the garage.
Yeah.
Where it sat for months, stewing in its funk.
It did.
Until I eventually came out there months later and I opened the bag. I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, I'm going to throw this away. So I threw it away. And now there's a severed head somewhere in a landfill.
Oh, gosh.
Cool. There's probably more than one, to be honest.
No!
Don't think about
Take
that.
it back.
Just pretend I didn't say that, okay? My story of putrid props is called... Oh boy, I'm getting a lot of the Mark ones today. Markiplier's Moldy Cheese of Madness. This is also from Resident Enos 2. The good thing about filming Resident Enos videos is that they give me a lot of stories because we have to use so much weird junk and put it in videos. Yes, so our story is set several years ago when preparing to film this sequel for Resident Enos. There's a gag in it in which we needed a gross cheese to be on a platter for Markiplier to be spooked by. And cheese is already spooky, in my opinion, so we didn't have to go out of our way. But we always do everything 200%. We don't back down from a challenge. So for this moldy cheese, we decided, we could just get some cheese and put it on a platter. Or we could find the grossest conceivable cheese and leave it out for a few days and then bring it to set and put it on a platter after it's gotten just a little bit more liquefied and grow in some weird stuff. So that's what we did. We went to the store, and it's funny because they like label the cheeses. They're like, oh, it has this or it has this. I just went down and was like, which one's funkiest looking? Which of these has creepy colors coming out of it and is packed with weird stuff? Found one of those and was like, I don't know who's going to eat this. This is disturbing. But we bought it, and we took it home, and we didn't put it in the fridge. Refrigerators are for suckers who eat things. We put it on the counter. We're like, time to let this bad boy, what do you...
Stew.
Maybe.
Marinate.
What's the phrase?
Ruminate.
Culture. It's time to let this cheese culture some living entities. That's the word I'm looking for. This cheese had culture. We brought it to set, and we, I don't remember if it had been packed up or not in plastic still, the way we bought it. But I can say that I recall taking off whatever we had brought it with, and for the first time, this wave of dank, horrible cheese smell, funk, whatever you want to call it, hit us. And it was about enough to knock you over. It was like the buttons on your shirt would like wither and like your ears. Yes. It definitely turned some skin, and turned some skin is a new phrase I'm going to use. Turned some stomachs and turned some skin. It turned into skin is what I'm trying to say.
Oh no.
We didn't let Mark smell it first, but he was aware that there was a gross cheese, and we were going to put it in his face, and he was going to react to it. And the first take we did was ruined, because when we uncovered the cheese, he went, it went from acting to like, oh, I can't, hold on. And it was like he wasn't ready for cheese that dank. So he's like, I got it. We can only do this like twice, okay? He's like, well, one more time. I'm ready for it this time. So we took it out, and we got the shot. But he's like, get rid of that thing. Just get rid of it as far. Take it out of the building or something. So we did. We found the corner garbage can.
We took it out back and shot it.
It took itself out. It was like, all right, guys, see you later, and it walked out. We found the furthest garbage can in the corner of the men's room or something of Google's YouTube space, and buried it deep. Some janitor probably that day was like, who pooped in this garbage can?
We took the cheese and put it into Cooking Mama's Alfredo.
And that is the story of Markiplier's Moldy Cheese of Madness.
Oh no, we got one story left. It's from Gwen.
Left.
Sorry, we have a very special guest star in our chat now.
A very special guest star? Is it Markiplier? Is it the Moldy Cheese? It came back?
Our good friend Devin, who plays Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th.
Hi, Devin.
He's currently telling stories in the chat about how short the house was and how not tall person friendly it was.
I was going to say, Devin was on set of that musical, actually.
True.
He's the one that menaced us with that giant hammer. He was the goon the Dodger hits with the baseball bat at the end.
So he probably has a few stories he could tell, too.
He does.
One day we'll have to get guest stars to come and tell stories.
Well,
yeah, that'd be fun.
Devin wasn't there for the cheese, though, right? Was he?
It's all the same day.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was there.
Yeah. No, he was definitely, I think, around still.
He might have seen the cheese. Or
he might have. Maybe he took the dresses. Devin, I want my dresses back. Those dirty, disappearing dresses.
Maybe he grabbed the cheese out of the garbage and was like...
Am I allowed to
I like to think we all went out for dinner after that.
We're on Replayed.
Yes, we are. On Replayed, you're allowed to use all sorts of bad words.
All right, welcome to Replayed. I'm about to say a PG-13 word.
But it's a pun.
Don't tattle on
anybody. It is
anybody.
a fun pun. So my story is called Return of the Rotten Bastard.
Bass, as
You
in
made it sound weirder, I think.
bastard.
Bastard? Okay, that sounds better.
As in a fish.
I'm not good at swearing, guys.
No, she's not.
Let me give you
That's
some
the
pointers.
fish's name. I don't think we've said it out loud, but when we designed Sega Bass Fishing of the Dead.
Yes. If you're ever curious why we bleeped the fish's name out, we might have not bleeped it out in one of the blooper videos. We bleeped the fish's name out generally because it's technically a swear word, but that's his name. It's a play on the word bass and the other word. So.
There's also one called the Bass Hole, just so you know.
All right,
Where's he?
He's the tougher one. When we were designing the game plan, actually, there were bastards and bass holes and all sorts of
So the bass holes are just dead.
I hope so.
You have a feather, right?
I'm growing them. I'm molting right now. It's
anyway,
funny.
sorry. We're pressed for time to get your story.
As previously mentioned,
Yes.
for Sega Bass Fishing of the Dead, they created a bunch of undead fish. And when I
Yes.
say created, I mean physically there were props of weird, gross, zombified fish. And you filmed Sega Bass Fishing of the Dead how many years ago?
That was 2012, so it's
long,
been 8 years.
Long
Shout out to Scott Leverett, Sweeping Man, for making this terrifying fish.
Yeah, you can find his channel, Prop Master's Handbook. He makes all sorts of amazing stuff. But this fish really takes the cake, I have to say.
It does, especially.
It should be here with us right now.
Nah.
No.
We can put it on our front lawn for trick-or-treaters.
Okay, that's it. We'll hand it to someone. We'll put it in somebody's trick-or-treating pan. Oh, sorry, but wrong. Sorry, took that out of the wrong cauldron today. Let me go find the candy here. That was
Anyway.
the fish bowl.
So this fish, this
Yes.
horrible, gross, undead, zombie rubber fish.
Hey, he might watch the stream later and be very offended by your choice of words.
I think the man who made it meant it to be
No,
that
the
gross.
fish might
no,
be offended
the fish will
by-
not be offended.
He watches a lot of
The
YouTube.
story's derailing quick.
He's an official theorist, I believe.
Well, he was made 8 years ago. He sat in various garages and various plastic bins and various containers for 6 of those years before AJ brought it back for the filming of Let Me Go, our first Granny song.
I like to keep him in a Ziploc bag so he marinates
Right?
in his own funk.
Plus, he
He
can
was
see
well
him being happy
marinated.
inside.
Yes.
I don't want to shut him in a dark little
Terrible,
box.
horrible rubber fish. And I don't know if you've ever had anything rubber that you put away for like 5 years and then brought back out. They start growing a kind of weird rubber slime. They're not really rubber anymore. They're
It's like rubber flesh.
I'm gonna bring him to
they're
a
not
convention
good.
sometime.
They're not
Right?
good.
Hope TSA searches my bag.
And AJ brought it out for the filming of this musical 2 years ago
Yeah.
and said, Gwen, I need you to try and knock down a door with this. Which I was like, that sounds ridiculous and like it's out of Monty Python, but fine, whatever. And then I touched it. And then I very politely said, AJ, how many times do I have to touch this fish? How many takes are we going to make with this fish? Because there needs to be a limit. I won't touch it more than whatever number you just give me. And I think he said like 5, 6, somewhere around there.
One more time.
One more time.
One
it,
more
it
time.
might be in the bloopers.
I'm
might
pretty
be.
sure it is in the bloopers.
Ooh.
It's also like I tried to not touch it, so it's a lot of holding it like this and a lot of holding it as far away from you as possible because it did smell as well. It was terrible, and it's like spilling guts out because it was designed to spill guts out, and it was literally the worst prop ever. And Nate likes to hide it in random places.
We
around
stopped
the
hiding
house.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because now we have Nipple Guy. But
That's true. Hide him instead.
Nipple Guy's with us today.
what?
Uh-oh.
What?
Unless somebody found him.
Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh. He's here on set someplace. Let me see the rest of the cards over there. All right, so that is all the stories, right? All of our
That is.
putrid prop stories. Okay, so which one? Go ahead and vote now was scariest. Was it Gwen and her... What was yours?
Return of the Rotten Bastard.
Oh, yes. Thank you for saying that again.
You're welcome.
Or my Markiplier's Moldy Cheese of Madness story, or could it be Nate's
Tale of the Undead Head.
Tale of the Undead Head? Oh, I should have kept that closest to you. Oops.
One of us will
Let
get
us
it.
know in the chat.
I think-
We'll see. This might determine who wins today. And this is, again, our first time ever doing this panel on a virtual convention setting. Doing it with people online.
Yeah, normally we do this, as we said, at a convention. It's one of our panels we hold, so it's nice to be able to do it here since we couldn't get out and do conventions this year.
From the comfort of our own home, where I can, my legs, 400.
Right? At least at the convention I can sit
We
in
have
a
a chair.
chair.
Yeah, we got
I'm
chairs
like,
at the convention.
ugh.
We always switch off
We
all the lights
technically
in the
have
room.
chairs here, but we were like, it's going to be cooler and more intimate if
Yeah.
we have us on the ground, so.
Yeah, I've had fun today, even if my legs are I can't
Broken.
walk anymore. It does make me miss doing this at convention with an audience, though. I like having you guys. You guys bring the energy, and it's a lot hard to get energy from you guys through a camera, because I'm just like, it's a piece of technology, and I know there are humans on the other side. I can see you someplace.
I swear I'm not cheating.
You again?
Yes.
You and the bastard?
I think it's because you guys were making such fun of it and I was making such gross faces.
Oh,
I think
no.
Gwen cheated.
Well, I support him, so I'm going to consider this a win for the bastard.
Yes, this is a win for the I think Gwen wins.
I have 3 points.
Oh my goodness, Gwen won this round.
How many do you have, AJ?
Not 3.
How many do you have?
I got 1.
One?
2.
2?
1.
1?
I only got 1.
You got 1?
I zipped it back up.
Oh,
I have 1.
I was
One.
going to donate mine to you if you had 2.
Oh.
It'd be like,
We can stop.
We can.
That's
tie.
not fair. That's not the way our rules work. The rules are the audience picks who wins
It's true.
each of these panels. And today, on our special Halloween stream, Gwen won it.
I do feel
fair
like
and
you
square.
guys online are more sympathetic to me
Than people in
conventions
person.
usually are.
Maybe Nate and I just lean into like audiences harder than you do.
It could be. I don't know. But thank you for my 3 points. I think this is the first time I've ever won this panel.
And you've won a lot. Like, this is like a high score.
Yes.
Getting 3 wins is actually pretty good,
Thank you.
especially compared to ours.
So we told 5 of our categories. As previously said, we have 13 categories. So if you have an option to come see us at a convention whenever conventions are safe again, you will get to come and hear news stories, different things. I believe there are still categories we have never covered.
Probably, and we change out stories occasionally too.
We do.
Sometimes, depending on just if you guys find them not scary enough, maybe we'll find a better one. But there are definitely other near-death experiences, other embarrassing atrocities.
Never told this one.
Hey, that's what was
Is
never
that the
told.
guest stars one?
Yeah.
Also, any conventions that we are going to go to, we will announce it on our YouTube channel's About page. So just keep an eye on that section. We'll also be sure to share it on social media. We have been invited to a couple. We're still figuring out whether or not some we can travel to and things like that. But we are always happy to see you guys. And if you know a convention is coming up in your city and you want us to come do a panel like this at it, maybe get to do some meet and greet with you guys, just contact your convention and say, hey, this is a guest I'd like you guys to bring from YouTube. They do video game music videos. Maybe show them, a link to one of our YouTube videos. Say, this is a song I really like from them. I hope they can come.
Yeah.
We're not particularly difficult guests, I like to think. We enjoy spending time with fans in the community.
I required 3 bowls of green Skittles in my dressing room.
No, you don't. You've never gotten that even once. Not even here.
I've never had a
Lies.
dressing
We have
room.
Skittles out there and you don't even do it.
Yeah, the green ones aren't the best ones. But anyway, so yes, we would love to come see you guys when it is safe, and hopefully everyone will feel comfortable doing that at some point in the future.
Yeet.
Yay!
Yeah.
If you liked this stream, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done
thumbs
that
up.
yet.
Hold on.
Give us a
Thumbs up because I have these like fake wings that I can actually stick my hand out of. It's gonna be really helpful when trick-or-treaters are here. I'm trying to get them candy.
And if you want us to do this again next Halloween, let us know because I had fun.
Yeah. I think this stream deserves a like because you won, and this is like your first time
Hey!
winning something. So these guys, this audience here, gave you your first win. I think to commemorate that, we should hit the like button.
Definitely
All of us.
hit a like because people on the internet like me better than in real life.
Yeah. Also, use that notification.
True story.
I was gonna let it go.
That might be the case for all of us.
That's true. That's accurate.
Oh my god.
Notification bell. Please hit that bell too because you need to be told when we upload, apparently, because YouTube won't share our things all the time. And I didn't know that, so it really helps if you hit the notification bell. Even when you hit it, though, sometimes things don't actually make it through, especially if you hit a lot of notification bells. So don't just hit the bell. Make sure that your notifications on your device are turned on, and you come back to check us every Friday because there's always a new video on Random Encounters every Friday. There's always a new musical every month.
And there's always a new stream every Friday on Replayed on this channel.
That's true.
So,
There's also one more thing that's about to happen in
How much
about
time we got left?
15 minutes.
what time is it?
It is 4:28, so
Oh,
in about half an hour.
In
Almost
about
exactly.
30 minutes. Over on Replay, the premiere is already active, so you can go there and wait and chat with people if you want. There's probably people already there.
We're going to be there soon.
Yeah, in 30 minutes, the series finale of The Shovel Werewolf will be premiering on Random Encounters.
Did you say series?
I
finale?
said series finale. A lot of people have been asking if by series finale we don't actually mean series finale and there's a Christmas episode. There is not a Christmas episode this year. The story ends today in half an hour. There are 31 episodes in this series. It ends on the 31st of the month. So
That's today.
Next year, when there's no Shovel Werewolf, you can literally start one episode a day on the 1st of October and watch the series finale on October 31st.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Yeah,
Next
we might
year's
have to
gonna
do
be
that.
great, guys.
We might do that
Right?
next year.
So please join us for that. We put a lot of work into it. I
So
think
much work.
It's a good. I think fans will enjoy it. I think it's a. I'm not gonna say anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
not gonna say
spoil
more.
it. Don't spoil
Yeah.
it. They're going to spoil it
Just
for
join
themselves in
it.
30
Just
minutes.
join us and watch it. It was a lot of work. We had a lot of fun making the series.
It's a
and
longer episode, though,
It's
too.
nice to see it come to a conclusion.
So, thank you for spending part of your Halloween with us. I hope you come and spend a little bit more of your Halloween with us in half an hour. And otherwise, I think we just wish you a happy holidays and beard salute.
I think that's it. Bye, guys. Till next Friday. Beard salute.
Woo!